Well, welcome back. This is the fifth of 7 videos that's looking at what are the project management process groups and knowledge areas. What we're going to do during this particular video is we're going to look at the area of risk management, the knowledge area of risk management. So let's start off with a definition. In project management, the idea of risk is some future event that happens with some probability and results in a change that can be either positive or negative to the project. So it's got some probability and it's got some potential impact that may occur. When you look at the actual process, it really consists of kind of 4 phases. This idea of risk identification, risk assessment, risk mitigation, and then monitoring and control. All right? And so you've got to go out and you've got to look at what are our risks, what's the probability, how much are those losses likely to cost, what might the losses be if the worst occurs, what are some alternatives, can we reduce or eliminate those risks. Now, what would happen, where would you ignore a risk? Well, it may be that the cost to address the risk is more than the highest possibility cost that would occur from the risk occurring. So if the cost of the risk occurring is less than the cost of fixing it, you ignore it. All right, very good. Well, we've got the kind of 4 phases here. You know what we're going to do. We're going to dig into each one. So this idea of risk identification, you want to go out and start looking at technical risks, project management risks, organizational risks, and external risks. And the book produces a table to at least get you thinking and provide some examples of different types of risks associated with the project. Once you have those, oh, look at this, we get to come back and use the scope triangle. We try to map out those risks into what category they belong, and is this a risk to scope, time, cost, quality, or resources? Here's an example of that kind of candidate driver list, that list, and here's the one that's looking at some of the risks associated with technology or project management. And you can read through those and see there are lots and lots of different technical risks, lots and lots of different project management risks, but this at least gives you a feel for it. And the book has a couple more tables that look into the different types of risks that you can occur within a project. And again, you see, as you go to that over towards the right of the table, that idea of, hey, does this risk exist within this project? What's the probability of it? What's the impact if it occurs? What's the priority for addressing that based on the probability and impact? And then, are we going to mitigate it? And the answer may be no. We're not going to mitigate it because of cost or because it's really low threat to us. All right, that brings us to risk assessment. What's the probability of loss? How much are they going to cost? And what might the losses be if the worst thing actually occurs? And we're going to look at 2 different mechanisms for actually doing this. One mechanism is around this idea of a static risk assessment. And so, again, you're going and comparing loss against probability. And those things that are up in the green, where you've got a low loss and a low probability, well, you're just going to ignore those. Okay, so you don't address every risk. Some of them you're going to ignore. Some of them you're going to consider, and some of them you must take action because it's either got a high loss or a high probability of occurring. Okay, as we look down, here's a dynamic way of doing this, and as you look at this, you've got project activities that are going down that left side of this chart. And then you've got some risk drivers that are labeled A through J. That's what those are up there. They're risk drivers. And then the numbers that you're filling in the individual cells are going to be some subjective or objective measurement of that risk. Okay? So in this case, it looks to be a scale from 1 to 3 is being assigned to each of these risk drivers in each of the phases. And then you're tallying the scores both vertically and horizontally. And what that does is it gives you some indication of which of those risk drivers is most dangerous, and it also gives you during the project itself what phase is the one that poses the most risk to the organization. And that little bullet at the bottom, instead of using 1 to 3, you could use 1 to 5 or 1 to 10. It's really up to you in terms of doing that particular assessment. All right, that brings us to risk mitigation. And during risk mitigation, you're looking at, what can we do? Do we accept the risk? Can we avoid it? Can we do contingency planning? Is there something we can do to mitigate that risk or transfer the risk to someone else or some organization? And so you'll see this a lot in different types of projects. Again, sometimes you just accept it. You decide you're going to self-insure for a particular issue. Sometimes you can do some things that allow you to avoid the risk ever occurring. Sometimes you can do the planning that when it occurs, this is what we're going to do to handle it. Sometimes you can mitigate the risk, and then sometimes transfer it. You may outsource a component to mitigate or to transfer risk, that is, to someone else. All right, or a different organization. All right, now let's get into looking at risk monitoring and risk control. And what we're going to do during this particular component is start looking at, well, we need to build a risk log entry. We need to log all of these risks and see where we're going to assign that. Something like this, where you've got an ID number, risk description, again, priority, impact, risk owner, what action are we going to take, and what's the expected outcome. All right, well, very good. Again, we've had a relatively short video looking at, in this case, only one of the 10 knowledge areas. And in this case, it was risk. And we talked about different techniques for mitigating risk or transferring risk or avoiding risk, or actually perhaps accepting the risk. And then some of the artifacts that are going to come out of this. And you'll see as we go through the subsequent chapters, we'll come back to this idea of risk a couple more times, make sure everybody has picked it up. All right, well, very good. This brings us to the end of the 5th of 7 videos looking at process groups and knowledge areas. Keep on studying, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.